Hello, Internet, and welcome to Survivors Complex. We are back for our 10th episode. So, welcome back, everyone. Before we get started, just a couple of announcements. One being that our one-shot that I'm going to be running as part of our YouPickGaming follower giveaway is going to be tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. That's going to feature Kyle, Savannah, and Sarah, as well as two followers that Michael and Lenore, who are going to be joining us. They won our giveaway, so congrats to them. We're really looking forward to playing with them. It's gonna be a little spoopy and kind of horror. We're just gonna kind of see how it goes. Otherwise, I mean, even if it doesn't translate that way, we're gonna have a good time, and it's gonna try to kill all of them if possible. Other than that, we have been trying to get our Survivors Complex crew has been trying to play some games on the YouPickGaming channel. We don't have like a set schedule for it. However, we did play some Left 4 Dead yesterday. So go and check that video out if you're interested. That was Savannah, Dylan, and myself. I know, Kyle, you've been playing some games every so often. I think you played like Elite Dangerous a week or so ago.
Yeah, I try to do usually it's a late night stream, so late night streams are like 11 Eastern is when I get on.
Okay, so if you guys are interested in that, go and watch those. If you like them and you're interested in us trying to do something a little more regular, let us know, and we will see what we can do. So we're gonna try to get some things going there. Otherwise, I think it's business as usual. One announcement. We are a couple weeks out at this point of this, so I'm going to go ahead and start plugging this as we go. The time for our game is going to be changing. We're going to be moving probably about, I think about like an hour back. We don't have a set time yet. Some people's schedules are changing, and we're just having to arrange some things. So we're gonna get that sorted out. We'll make some announcements as the weeks progress, but expect that to come in a soon date. Otherwise, I can't think of any other announcements that we have. So I think we'll just go ahead and get into the game, get into our recap, unless anybody else has anything that they can think of. Nope. All right. So, getting back into our adventure. The last time we picked up, last week, the crew of this ragtag band that's come together to help come to some sort of armistice or agreement here within the continent of Graldar to make some sort of pact with the Tabaxi people. You have ventured 2,000 steps, finally speaking with the Tabaxi Council of Elders on behalf of Ivrandal, telling them what it is, or relaying the information, the terms of agreement with the country of Ivrandal on behalf of this Northern Alliance, in an effort to keep Alndakir's progression at bay. The talks didn't go exactly how you expected. You ended up not really coming to an agreement, but delaying any sort of peace talks until the official delegation can arrive. However, you spoke with Prince Zinstor, the Prince of Alndakir, a tiefling noble, who decided, or who let you know, informed you of some aspects of Tabaxi culture, aspects of their presence there that you weren't totally aware of. Told you that he has some suspicions that the Tabaxi were, in fact, working for or with beings from another plane known as the Twilight Realms. He told you that his place here was to seek out any sort of planar disruptions and try to stop them before another tragedy occurs, similar to what's been happening across Valeforge at this point. You agreed tentatively to research to find out the source of these magical disruptions and see if his fears had any merit. You, or Star specifically, in our last game, made his way into the Singing Stone archives in an effort to find these any sort of information or facts or proof that could point to some sort of alliance. You weren't able to successfully infiltrate the archives without seemingly drawing any attention to yourself, and found a number of these crystals that were imprinted or enchanted with some sort of information, or the like journals almost that gave instructions to the Tabaxi or recorded some sort of history. You brought this information back to your group, and you learned through these that it seemed that the Tabaxi did have some sort of connection to elven culture, or some group of elves who had apparently been giving them instructions to bring marked Tabaxi to a place, a region known as the City of Crawling Mists. You informed the prince of this. He felt that, and you agreed, that it was best that you make your way to the city to learn what might be transpiring there. With a bit of magic, the prince teleported you a little ways off from the city, as close as he could, and told you to find out what was happening, that he would be communicating with you nightly, to know that when you wish to return, and to seek out the source of these disruptions. You had a short encounter with a group of ogres that hunted you down and tried to kill you for an entity that they referred to as Mother. You didn't learn much information beyond that, believing that had some connection to the Oni that you had slain before. And that is where we left off, with having just defeated those ogres, making your way further towards this another sort of basin upon which sits the or in which sits the City of Crawling Mists. So that is where we pick up, as you guys are sort of, the sun is beginning to set. You're winding down in the evening, having sustained, a very heavy amount of sort of conflict and drama during the day's events. What would y'all like to do?
What day is it? Because the last thing I have, it's the 27th of Sol.
It is right now the evening of the 28th.
Gotcha. Thank you.
So, do you guys want to camp out here, or find somewhere within the boundaries of the ruin?
Well, aren't the ruins a little far off?
You're probably about a day and a half travel.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Travel from the ruins still.
We're making camp out here then.
Just to know if there's anything you guys want to do before you make camp.
Who did we piss off?
I mean, we probably pissed off a lot of people.
Well,
Did we?
I'm guessing it's to do with the Oni that we killed.
we did kill a very big thing, and then more big things came after us. So,
We're gonna have to deal with that, aren't we?
I think we already did. Points, 2 bodies.
Well, we thought we dealt with the Oni, but apparently the Oni had a master. It just makes me worry.
There's
And-
always a bigger fish.
Duh. Well, we can make camp here, I think, but we should do watches. Like, really.
yeah.
My not favorite thing to do watches, especially now that I know that the Oni had a mother.
Everyone has a mother, Lil.
Well, yeah, but the Oni attacked me in the night. I don't like watches anymore.
Do you want someone to sit with you just to make sure?
No,
I mean, I could. It's perfectly fine.
I know we all need to be rested though. So I'm okay. I just makes me nervous.
I can understand that.
Would it help if you took the first watch and someone else took the later watches?
Well, I don't want to seem like I can't help. I mean, I'm here to protect you just as much as you guys are here to protect me, but it just
We
makes-
understand, but, you
makes
deserve
me-
a break.
Okay.
You do seem to be the one that people go after the most, so take the first one, we will take the last. It's okay.
Okay. I don't want you to think that I don't want to, though, or that I can't. Because I'm ready.
I'm pretty sure I watched you fall down a very deep hole and survive. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah. That was fun, I think.
You want to do it again? We can dig you a hole.
It doesn't have to be that deep, because I'm pretty small.
You just need to practice landing on your feet. It's fine.
Yeah, you and I should talk about that, because you do that really well. Okay, let's make camp, guys.
Okay. So you, before the sun fully sets, you find a nice clearing where you can get a decent view of your surroundings, begin to gather some brush, make a fire, set up camp the best way you can. As the sun sets, you find some amount of comfort in this clearing in the southwestern section of the Groundhog jungles and begin to set up watch. Lil taking the first watch, the rest of you following. The evening wears on. You keep an eye out. You hear the sounds of each one of you during your watch, hear the sounds of creatures moving out in the jungle. Nothing that you haven't already grown used to during your extensive travels through here.
Ooh, that's a giant gorilla?
You keep talking about these gorillas, and I've never seen one before, so I don't think they exist.
As you say that,
Right? They exist.
Other than a few small, wild dogs kind of creeping up to your campsite, which you scare away just with some noise, and
Nope, I try to be friends with one of them.
you try to be friends with one of the dogs.
She loses her other arm.
Well, here we go. What are you doing to try to be friends with the wild dogs as they approach your camp?
Were there a bunch of them?
There's 3.
Just 3. Okay. Which one is the biggest one? Whichever one is the biggest one, I try to get it to eat out of my hand.
Okay, so there's a group of 3 of them. 2 of them kind of out to the sides. One a little bit large, one in the center. They all look pretty malnourished. They're not very very hardy creatures, enough to kind of survive in the jungle. You move towards one. The other 2 sort of scatter back a bit, but the one in the center moves close.
I'm just going, hi, puppy.
Okay, make an animal handling check.
Okay. 14?
Okay. The dog kind of holds its ground as you approach, continuing to snarl at you, but the snarls grow more kind of muffled, and it just turns into this low growl at the back of his throat as you approach. You hold the food out to it. It doesn't lunge at you. It doesn't retreat. It sort of holds its ground and stares at the food. Seems to be between a rock and a hard place right now, wanting the food, but also a little bit afraid of you.
Okay, I chuck it.
Okay.
The food,
You chuck the
not
food.
the dog. I chuck the food so they'll run off, but
Okay.
I still feed them.
You chuck the food. The 2 smaller ones immediately bolt after it. The larger one sort of backs up warily for a moment, keeping its eyes locked on you, and then as soon as it gets about 10 feet away, it breaks into the jungle.
All right.
Why am I having deja vu moments of dances with wolves and 2 socks trying to take the beef jerky from Kevin Cobb?
That's what's happening.
Yeah. However, it didn't attack you, so good enough. But other than a few kind of small encounters like that, occasional sort of snake writhing its way through the underbrush, you can't make friends with everything. This is somebody else's watch. You're asleep. You're able to make it through the evening without any events. Eventually, the sun rises over the eastern reaches of the jungle, and you find morning upon you.
You find Lucius awake, eating a snake for some reason, and he...
Anything you guys are doing in the morning before you continue your travels towards the city?
Lil does her prayers.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so everybody gets up, eats some breakfast of roasted snake and some heated up rations that you all are able to scrounge together. You pack up your camp, put out the fire, and continue your travels. As you make your way, following sort of a combination of stars guidance, because you have the most knowledge of the jungle, and some of the other navigational skills that a few other members of your group have, you continue making your way through the thick jungle terrain, closer and closer to the city of Crawling Mists. Another day passes without any event. You keep an eye out for more ogres and other creatures lurking up and attacking you during the day and in the evening. The second night comes and you rest as well. The only thing of any event during that day and that evening being a single lunar eclipse during the night. No event to that, no more visions or anything like that. But it definitely catches your attention, and you all sort of have a few moments as you eat your meal to gaze upon it, to sort of reflect about the sort of wonder of the cosmos around you, or just continue eating it or it as you wish. As the next morning rises, you do find yourself just on the outskirts of this basin. You come across a ridge, and you can see down at the bottom of it, as the tree lines gradually sort of fade away to this murky sort of bog-like landscape around. You see the ruins before you. A slate gray cityscape sprawling over probably about 2 miles in the center of this caldera. And hanging within it and among it is this ever-present fog that washes over the landscape. The sun is currently out where you are right now. There isn't like this isn't an overcast day. However, you can see just this hanging cloud essentially over the city. Occasionally you'll see a tall stone structure kind of jutting through the fog, some others in a more cleared out area, but the whole terrain is pretty well obscured. And at this point it's about middle of the day, and you're probably close to a mile off from it. So, how would you like to approach?
Slowly and silently.
Darn.
Darn you! I mean, what we heard back there was that, like, no one goes to this place, to these ruins, so what do you know about it?
Sorry, can you just reiterate what the noise was? Because I had to deal with stuff quickly.
The noise?
Oh, sorry, I'm going insane. Ignore me. I misheard.
I think because I know you had to move. They've essentially, you've reached the city of Crawling Mists.
Okay, yeah.
Are we in the mist yet?
You're not. You're about, like I said, about half
a mile.
Outside of where the mist kind of.
Are we like above it and it's kind of in a basin, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this landscape kind of slopes down to where the city sits, and then there's just this mist that kind of surrounds and envelops the city.
Man, Groudar is just full of calderas.
Divots. Just
Very rough landscape.
giant divots.
So, how are we doing this?
Well,
I wouldn't want anyone to get separated, especially in the mists.
have there been stories of something in the mist that could harm us in any way?
All I know about this place is the fact that there are the mists that pervade the area and that it's dangerous to come here.
I'm more worried about getting lost in the mist, so
Do we
Getting
wanna-
separated.
stick together.
This may be, well, yeah, it may be drastic, but somebody's got some rope, right? That if we need to, we can. I'll
Tie
grab
off.
a hold. Yeah.
We could
Okay.
hold it. I don't really
Yeah, I don't want to
want
tie
to
off
tie
either.
ourselves together
Yeah.
in case something happens.
Drastic happens.
We could hold it.
I mean, I could like, we could like, somehow, like, I could play music, and you could like follow the sound of my music, maybe.
Yeah.
That might work.
I think that's actually not a bad idea. But when we get in the ruins, because of your musical ear, I would listen for how it echoes back to you, because that may disorient you and me. Because I don't, because echoes are weird.
Okay. So is the plan to proceed? Barb makes a bit of low music to try to keep you guys together, and you maintain you guys are going to stay pretty close together, though, I assume, as you move forward, at least try to. Okay. And is anyone trying to be sneaky about it other than Barb? Because obviously you're making sound. Is anybody else trying to be stealthy at all?
You mentioned being sneaky?
Yes.
For some reason my character sheet isn't up. I could have sworn I opened it.
Yeah, I'll try to be sneaky. Once we get into the mist, like actually into it, can I make some kind of like Arcana magic check to see if it's real mist or like a byproduct of some like magic spell?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, once you get close, we'll
Okay.
get so.
It's almost impossible for me to be sneaky. I'm just gonna stick by Barb.
That was my plan. I was gonna like grab onto like the back of her backpack or whatever, since I'm so small.
Yeah.
More for like somebody knows where I am, not necessarily I know where everybody else is, since I'm so tiny.
I think Barb has like some sashes or something. Like she's always wearing like ornate clothing. You could just like grab a hold of my sashes.
Yes, I grab all the sashes.
Yeah, you grab that sash.
Yeah. So we'll stick
Sashay away.
We'll stick with Barb, and then we're making all the noise. So if something comes out of the mist, it's gonna come for us, and that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I got an 11 on my stealth check.
I got an 8.
Okay.
Dylan, what
Dylan's
did you
froze.
get?
So Dylan, what
Dylan.
I got a 21.
There you go.
There it is.
Okay, 21. You frozen with this like just like shit-eating grin on your face. It was funny. Oh, this is gonna be a day. All right. So as you approach, Barb sort of taking the lead, the rest of you, some of you staying close, some of you kind of spreading out to stay into the shadows a bit. Which, as you finally make it to the outskirts of where the mist sort of ends, and it's not as thick around here. The sun is beginning to crest the the tops of the tree line, given that you are at the bottom of this valley, and it is casting some pretty serious shadows with the debris and the rubble and the buildings that are sort of half collapsed into this bog. As you approach, Barb, you begin to play your music, and you make it to the outside of, you begin to head into this mist. Lucius, why don't you go and make your Arcana check?
Let's see if this works. $18.
18. Okay. As you approach, you have a pretty good kind of knowledge of sort of magical smokes and magical sort of obstructions and illusions, given your background. The mist itself, from what you're sort of sensing about it and sort of tapping into your own understanding of the threads of magic, it's not created by magic. This isn't like a magical fog spell or something. This is it's a natural mist, but you do sense something magical about it. there is some sort of presence here that you do sense that this is natural, though maybe not natural to the material plane.
Okay. I can't like shape it with my smoke weaver abilities or anything like that. It's just a sense that this might not be from this plane or this area, let's say.
You could use this to use your
Okay.
puppet if you wish to. Actually, it'd probably be a very good location for your vapor puppet. But yeah, you can definitely sense that there's something weird about this.
I create my vapor puppet out of it then.
Okay.
Just to see what happens.
You wave your hand through the air, and the rest of you see as this dark form coalesces amongst the vapor, and your kind of spectral guardian kind of appears in the air there.
I say, hello, Squiggles. That's what I'm calling him now.
Squiggles?
Yeah, he's like squiggly.
Cause he moves the air around.
Like
Oh my god.
I'm guessing his name is Squiggles now. Okay.
That's what I'm calling him.
Alright.
Did he have a name before?
He really didn't, but Squiggles is good.
Squiggles is good.
Squiggles
I mean,
seems indifferent to the name.
Right?
Okay. So, but yeah, you create it, and it seems normal to what you expect.
Okay.
So yeah. However, as you all make your way into it, the mist isn't as thick as you begin to walk through the city as you expected it to be. From an end, from far away, it looks like there's a impenetrable kind of cloud that surrounds it. And you imagine that it'd be pretty thick walking through, not being able to see around you. However, you find your vision is not as obscured as you thought. It's difficult to see probably your vision is probably limited to about 60 feet ahead of you, but between you and that 60 feet, it's pretty much clear. You can all see each other fairly well. Those of you that are trying to be stealth are kind of more obscured in the shadows, but was there something you were going to say, Sarah?
Well, I was just wondering if it was kind of one of those things of like, you know, you get into a valley, and when the clouds all suck in, it's like you have this layer that doesn't quite hit all the way to the bottom, but kind of just sits above.
It's
but it's all
like
the way
that.
down.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like that, except for the fact that it's almost like this bubble sort of surrounding you. You can feel it in the air around you as you're walking through it, but you're able to see through it more clearly once you approach. As it becomes more translucent the closer you get to it. So, yeah,
Thank you.
Almost like a barrier, maybe.
almost.
Okay.
Yeah, except it's definitely there. There's this cool sort of dew that clings to you, and you can feel the vapor around you. But it's more difficult or it doesn't obstruct you as much as you thought it would.
So in these ruins, is it like, are we going down like a road, or are we just walking in? Sorry.
I was about to get to that. So good question. As you make your way down, you reach what is sort of the city proper, where the bits of it and the stonework that's been sucked into the ground is more stable. It is a road that you are now following directly to the heart of the city. However, there are a number of buildings around, or once were buildings. Most of them are about like 2 or 3 walls at this point, with no remnants of furniture or any sort of life in here as well. It's just rubble and broken walls around you.
How old is this place?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
very old, I'd guess.
Well,
Lil, you were going to say.
So, rumor has it they've been taking kids or people with marks here. I think we should be on the lookout for, trodden paths. I know it sounds probably silly in a place as ruined as this, but
Well, I mean, anything new in a place like this would stick out, so it's not a bad idea.
Maybe a trodden path. Perhaps look for anything that resembles a crescent moon as well.
It's a good
Like
idea.
this one?
And I pull out my holy symbol.
So how close does the symbol of Lalaroth look to the thing?
I mean, it's the same sort of symbol. Each kind of sect of the faith uses a different sort of design work of it. I mean, it's a crescent moon in much the same way as the crescent moon you're thinking of. So, in that way, they do resemble each other.
Any kind of crescent moon like that, I guess.
Okay.
Okay. So I guess those of you that are looking around can make survival checks if you're looking for like tracks, or perception checks if you're looking for like the moon or other sort of markings.
Lil got a 15 on a perception.
Lucius got a 13 on perception.
Dan got a 26 on perception.
Nice.
I got a 20 on perception.
I got a 20 on survival.
So 3.
3. Okay. Barb, you're still just playing away on your music. Not really.
She's just jamming away on a really hardcore side. I'm just ignoring what all of us are doing.
Yeah. The rest of you, as you look around, you don't see any. Most of you don't see any sort of that iconography or any sort of markings around. Sadell, you, as you scan the ground, you do notice there are some small disruptions to the earth, more fresh tracks that you can see in some of the areas that it's not just hard stone, where the stonework gives away to mud or some silt. And you can see what looks to be footpaths, like shoed humanoid footpaths that make their way down this road in sort of the direction you're going, and in the opposite direction as well. No evidence that they tried to cover them up. The rest of you, as you look around Den and Star, you don't see any representations of the symbols that you're looking for. Everything's fairly sort of destroyed in this area. However, as you peer through the fog, you do sort of notice very faintly, you can see the shadows of buildings in the horizon. You do see that there are some bigger buildings out that way, that there's more to the city the further you go in.
I think we should keep going in.
Based on how far we've gone in, does it, like, I assume, and maybe this is the wrong assumption, but 1,000 Steps is set up kind of around the main ziggurat in concentric circles out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because it's Caldera, I guess that's why I assume that. And so is this similarly set up? Is this set up in a, like, from what we can tell, completely different way? Does it seem that all roads lead to the center?
No, the structure of the roadwork as you make your way around is a little more gridded. It's not so much they don't all kind of slope towards the center of the city. It's more traditional the way you expect. But as most cities are, the most important structures are typically at the center, and the city kind of grows out from it. But you're not seeing any sort of design work to the infrastructure that would show everything's going there. And as you look around too, there are a lot of differences between this and 1,000 Steps. It's not the same architecture as far as you can tell.
Anyone have any reason we shouldn't try and head towards the larger buildings?
No, I think Sadell, you've got a kind of a beat on a track, so let's go.
Yep.
Okay. So you all continue making your way forward into the city. Let's see.
Wake up, Kyle.
As the rubble and the buildings around you become a little more present, and there you can see the remnants of some larger broken buildings kind of piled up on either side. It looks as though this road has been cleared out, and you do get the image that this road has been kept clear through effort. A lot of the other side passageways and the roads that lead out to the left and right as you go are just strewn with rubble, have trees and other plant life growing up out of the ground. However, this pathway, other than the occasional broken sort of pothole and some vines growing up from the ground, pretty much a clear path to the center. As you make your way through, you reach a point where there are a heavy amount of sort of cracks in the ground. More of these potholes appeared. You see a lot of like spiderweb cracks and fissures winding their way through the streets. And Den, you're the only one that catches this, but out of the corner of your eye, you see something yellow, kind of a yellowish brown color, quickly kind of dart off into a building.
How nearby is the building?
Probably about 30 or 40 feet from you.
Oh, I chase it.
Chase it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Den goes rushing off towards the building.
I run after her.
Yeah, Will goes with her.
I'm a kitty cat, so I can move extra fast. Haha.
Okay, so Star, you quickly rush to the front, kind of following behind where Den is. The rest of you trying as fast as you can to catch up.
I basically pull Barb with me because I'm sure, like
She's
Barb,
just
I'm
still
assuming
playing.
you're just still playing, and like I have all of the sashes, and I just pull you with me.
Den, you quickly wheel around the corner, going kind of what looks to be what probably once was an alleyway. It's mostly collapsed, and then there's a broken section of wall that cuts off to the left. You follow to the left where you saw that creature going, and as you turn the corner, you stop as you see the passageway ends. There's some broken rubble, everything that's piled up here. There's nothing there.
What the hell?
What was it then?
I start like kind of pushing on like the rubble to see if any of it will move. Not trying to like knock it over, just to see if like something could have got through.
Yeah, so make an investigation check.
Uh-oh.
Can I make a perception check to see if we're being watched?
Sure.
1.
Okay.
Not a natural one, but 1.
Speaking of that ones.
I got a 13 on perception.
We started off so well, you guys.
Yeah.
Right?
So Star and Lucius, the two of you, keep an eye around, and you don't see anything moving. Den, you feel around, and you know the rubble it's not like a solid wall around here. Like it's bits of rubble kind of collapsed against each other, pieces of stone kind of pushed together. But you don't find any of them moving, and you don't see any holes around here.
I saw something run over here, and now it's gone.
How big was it?
How big was it?
Not terribly big. Probably around like Lilibet's size.
It was like Lil, but yellow.
Was it just like an animal? Or was it...
Well, I don't know. That's why I ran after it.
Well,
Now it's gone.
is there any way it could like get up? Like, are we in like we're in like an alleyway, right? Like a dead end alleyway?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm like, is there any way that it could get up top or beneath the rubble?
I'm Well, I mean, the rubble won't move. Try.
Are there any like handholds or anything in the buildings beside us that like you could like climb up?
I mean, it's pretty rough. You imagine something could climb that if it wanted to. I mean, you got there pretty fast, Dan. You imagine something would have to move extremely fast to climb up it and over before you got around that corner.
Yeah, I mean, if something climbed up and got away, it was not moving at a normal speed.
About how high are these walls?
Thank you.
I mean, it's mostly just piles of rubble. The closest, the most solid wall there is probably about like 20 feet tall.
I can get up that in about 6 seconds, so that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, so you scale the wall up to the top, pulling yourself up there. You look around and you get a little bit better vantage point about the area. You can see the rubble and the remains kind of scattered around the walkway or the street that you guys were following, continuing in the direction you were going. I'll have you make another perception check.
Mm-hmm. 15.
Okay. You scan around, and you don't see anything in your immediate area. You don't see anything moving around, but far in the distance, as far as you can see, just at the edge of where the mist coalesces, and you can't really see, you see a dark figure standing on top of one of the walls, and it leaps away, and you see as it kind of retracts into the mist towards the center of town.
I climb back down. We're definitely being watched. Whatever it was has gone towards the center of the town.
So I'm not just seeing things.
There's definitely something else here.
Alright.
Well, we should all be on our guard at least. At least we know we're not alone.
Keep an eye out and keep ready. We've got no idea if it's friendly or not.
Should we?
Just watch each other's backs.
Should we keep following, like, the path that Sadell found? Or do we want to just try to go, like, straight in towards the big buildings?
Right. It might be easier to follow the path. With all this rubble here, I don't... Going over things might be a little...
I hate to. I'm gonna be the lowest common denominator, not just because of height, but my legs are pretty small and I don't have that big of a reach. Remember when we did the things and I could barely touch the distance? Climbing is not my strong suit.
If you want, I can make it over the rubble pretty easily. I can try sneak through from a different path and catch up with you guys later on.
I think we should stick together.
I'm not really sneaky,
Yeah.
but I'm not really sneaky, but ever since I got these, and he kind of taps one of the boots, a lot of things that should hinder me don't. So,
Well,
like,
and Star guys, Star, didn't you say we shouldn't split up? I mean, I know you're sneaky and everything, but
Well, if we're already being watched, they know we're here. So I think it's best if we just stick together and stay on the trail.
Yeah.
at least
Sounds
we'll all be together.
So noise or no noise, because I can turn the shit up to 11.
For now, let's say no noise. I think we may need to be able to hear if anything approaches.
Aww.
Barb, you'll be able to turn it up to 11 here soon, I promise.
Barb stops playing her lute forlornly.
Okay.
Is it like the last twang of a country song? Blang,
Yeah.
blang, blang.
So you cease playing your lute, and as you do, there's this sort of eerie silence that washes over the area, and you realize just how quiet this place is. Not a sound of a bird or anything moving. And as this quiet hits, you all make your way out of the music stopped just at the right time.
I was about to say, I'm like, did you plan that?
As the quiet hits, you all make your way out of this alleyway back into the street, meaning to progress your way down it a bit further. However, before too much time passes, about just as you leave that alleyway, suddenly Sadel and Den, the two of you notice this kind of burst of like smoke next to you, as if something like appearing from the shadows at your feet, as a small yellow creature kind of appears in place there and lunges at you. You all see this, but it's not gonna be able to react in time. They're gonna get a surprise round on you as these two yellow creatures with spines protruding down their backs and large like pincers at the end of their arms. Sorry, what?
I can't be surprised while I'm conscious.
Yes, so you will get a round as part of this.
Okay.
But everybody else is surprised right now. These two yellow creatures with large small yellow creatures with large mandibles and pincers lunge at the two of you. So I'm going to go ahead and get everyone to go ahead and roll for initiative. But we'll do the surprise round first.
Sean, I'm gonna move my token right by Barb because I'm still attached to Barb. Just so you know.
Okay.
These are the weirdest looking gorillas I have ever seen.
Do I have my vapor puppet on the board?
I'll go ahead and give it to you.
Guys, I roll awful. I roll horrible.
I had a good roll this time.
Okay. All right. So that will put it with Lucius. You get to go first, being able to react to these creatures just before they get strikes off on your friends.
All right. Let's see. Yeah. So the one by Sadel is. I'm just gonna attack it. So see this thing pop out and try to attack my buddy.
Okay.
18 to hit?
18
with
hit.
rending?
Yes.
Okay. 3.
All right. The rending spell. Let's see. Double check for me. Should you be at 2d10 now, level 4?
It's the next level.
Okay. Couldn't remember.
Yeah. 5th level improved mending.
That's right.
Cool.
Yes. So the attack hits as you lash out with the soul threads. It cuts the side of the creature, spilling out this kind of brownish ichor from the side. This brown blood that runs down the side of its kind of carapace, seeming injured by the attack, but not enough to deter it. Anything else you wish to do?
Can my vapor puppet do a thing? Or okay.
Bonus, since you already have it out, so it's
okay.
a bonus action to command.
So he's going to move to here and see if he can punch it in its carapacey face.
Okay.
Condense. There it is. 21 to hit.
Hits.
7.
7. Nice. The Vapor Puppet wham, punches the side of the creature, and it kind of falls over and pulls itself back to its feet, snapping and looking back and forth between Sadel and the Vapor Puppet. All right. So that'll skip down to their turn. The two Vapor Puppets are going to continue with their attacks against Sadel and Den. So Den, that is going to be, what are you at? 18. That's going to miss you as it lunges up at you, tries to grab on or slash at you with its claws, but you deflect it away. The other one is going to miss you, Sato, with a 6. It tries to lunge at you too, but the vapor puppet knocked it away enough that it loses its balance, and you're able to dodge out of the way of its attack. So I'll bring it to the end of the surprise round, and back to you, Lucius.
Oh, just gonna do the same thing that I tried to do earlier.
Okay.
So let's see. 17 to hit.
17 hits.
Yeah, cool. 2 points of damage.
All right.
And then my vapor puppet is gonna try to punch it again. 14 to hit.
That will miss.
Okay. That's it then.
Okay. So you slash at it again with the rending very quickly, following up your previous attack. The vapor puppet goes to swipe at it, but the creature, seeming aware of its presence now, rolls out of the way and avoids the attack. That will put it to Star's turn.
Okay. Okay, yeah, he's squishy. I'm going to run up to this one that is currently attacking Sadel and go for a double dagger.
Okay.
First one is an 8, which I'm guessing does not hit.
That misses.
Second one, 18.
That hits.
And that is 4 damage, and that was my first hit, so I get my sneak attack as well, don't I?
Yes, yeah.
I really need to make an offhand attack, sneak attack thing on roll 20. That's an additional 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage. All right. This thing is not looking good as you rush up behind it and miss with one of your daggers, but able to sink the other one through its shell. Creature lets out a shrill cry, but it is still up, just not looking too good right now. That'll put it on Barb's turn now.
Okay. I would like to, let's see. Let's see. I kind of want to move like over here. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm going to. I think I'll rage.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll rage. And am I like are we still on the surprise thing or no?
No, it's not a surprise round anymore.
Okay, cool. And I'm gonna do my usual rage. Great weapon mastery, great loot.
Okay.
For 14.
14 will miss, unfortunately.
Okay.
As you rush around and skid to the other side of the creature as it strikes at the den, you swing with your loot, but it ducks and the loot embeds itself in the stone. You rip it out, but you miss on that turn. So
Still like to do my radiant
okay, yeah, you still get that.
for 5 points.
Okay. So even as the loot misses, there's a burst of radiant energy around you that sears the back of this creature. It looks back, kind of, and retracts away from the light, being very seems almost fearful of this bright light. That will end your turn. Den, at the start of your turn, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. Sorry, Seto.
I rolled an 18.
Why'd that go?
So, well, because I have the
That's right, you redid yours. Okay.
advantage. So,
I need you to make a wisdom saving throw at the start of your turn.
okay. 4.
4. Okay. So as you go to as you finally look around and see this creature, you find as it stares up at you, its beady, kind of grayish eyes staring straight at you. You find this feeling of dread sink into you, and you are currently frightened of this creature. So if I will specify that means that any attacks against it are at disadvantage, and you cannot willingly move closer to it. You're right next to it, so you can't move closer to it anyway.
Okay. Well, darn. In my panic, since this thing is terrifying, I'm just gonna try and shoot it.
Okay.
At point blank range.
So you're disadvantaged anyway, so yeah, go for it.
I was sitting here, I was like, I had this whole plan of like, all right, I can get away with this thing. Nope. Natural one. So you look down at the thing that's frightening you, and as you kind of shriek and hold out your gun and fire it, you miss wide to right, almost shooting straight through one of Star's feet. So you're able to just barely dodge out of the way at that time. However, it was nowhere close to hitting the creature. Anything else? No.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Okay. So bonus action to cast Shield of Faith to protect yourself a bit as you sort of cower from this creature. All right. Den, it'll be your turn. I also need to make a wisdom saving throw.
13.
Okay, 13. You see the creature before you. You feel that sense of dread creep in, but you're able to kind of push through it and find that holy energy whelm through you enough to steel yourself against it.
Oh, good. Okay. I would like to grab its little head and cast Inflict Wounds on it.
Okay.
I'll try. 25?
Hits.
Yeah. Another one. 20 necrotic damage.
All right. And you, it's still alive, but you wreck this thing as you reach out and you place your hands on the side of it, kind of feeling this. It's kind of writhing and snapping up at you with its mandibles. You send a surge of necrotic energy through it that seems to shrivel the creature. Its yellowish brown skin begins to turn into a grayish color to match its eyes. It lets out a horrible shriek as it recoils from you, and it's looking really rough right now.
I just give Barb a thumbs up from like over its head.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, it is their turn again. Okay, the one between Barb and Den right now looks between the two of you, and it's like trying to cower away, but realizes it has nowhere to go, and you see it kind of staring around, looking at the other one. However, it is just going to, let's see. Yeah, I mean, this thing is wrecked right now, so it's using its action to disengage, and it is trying to run. As it flees away from you. It can't move too far, 30 feet. So it's moving to about right there as it begins to flee the battlefield. The other one, however, it peers around, and you watch as it kind of crouches low, and then the shadows sort of whelm around it, and it disappears. That'll put it to Lilibet's turn.
Well. She runs up to the one that tried to run away from her friends and slams it with her warhammer two-handed.
Okay, make your attack.
16?
16 hits.
She does... no, I'm going to go ahead and do Divine Smite. So she does 5 points of bludgeoning. And let's add the Divine Smite at first level. And she does another 8 radiant damage.
And the Divine Smite is enough to do it as you rush up behind it, bring your warhammer two-handed, letting out a battle cry, just slamming in the back of the creature. There's a crunching noise as the warhammer drives into the back of it, and the creature is just out. is not moving. And that will end the immediate danger.
So, anyone know what the hell they are?
I was going to ask you that question.
Can I make a nature or arcana check to see if I've heard of whatever these things could possibly be?
Sure. This would be more of an arcana check.
Like
15.
Okay. You approach the body of it and begin to sort of inspect its corpse for traces of what it might be. You aren't sure what it is. You've never seen anything like this before. However, judging by its body construction, you can tell that it is not something, or you know definitively that it's not something from the material plane. It's extraplanar in origin.
Guys, this thing's not from around here.
As in, like, we are not from around here, or something more?
I think it's from another plane of existence.
Since I'm a cleric, can I look at it and try to tell if it's like a demon or something?
Yeah, you make a religion check.
Oh god. Why do I do that?
I'm still waiting for that -1 one day when you have to make an intelligence-based check.
Hey!
That would be a -1, folks at home.
Oh man, Alex, go buy a lottery ticket.
Somebody cast
Right?
foresight on Alex today.
Right? Jeez.
Yes, that would be a -1, Mr. DM, sir.
You're pretty sure it's a demon.
Guys, I think it's a demon.
I agree.
I mean, it did just disappear out of nowhere, so...
Sato, are you okay?
Am I still like terrified or?
No, actually, about 6 seconds passed and the fear effect faded.
I'm okay. I don't know. Something about that just startled me.
You look real freaked out.
Well, I'm fine now. I lost my cool.
It's alright.
Well, it's fine. It did just sneak up on us.
Yeah,
so.
that was scary. I'm pretty sure it's a demon.
Well, I'm going to take your word for it, since I've never seen it before in my life.
Yeah.
Does
Just
this
gonna-
thing have like a solid body laying on the ground, or is it like slowly dissolving into smoke or other weird things?
No,
Or...
it's a solid body on the ground still. A little cracked from the...
So it's got like an exoskeleton.
Yeah, it's sort
Thing?
of... It's
Okay.
a little buggish.
Okay.
Well, it looks cool. I don't think they're from around here. And it's got bits of shell and mandibles that can probably be taken off, so I want to tear it to bits or pieces to sell.
Okay. Go to make a... just make a survival check to like harvest the bits of it.
6.
6. Okay. You butcher it significantly as you try to get the pieces off of it. You get chunks of it. It's just not very pretty.
I have chunks, as long as I've got like a few bits of shell or whatever, that'll do.
Yeah, they're not huge, but you do have some little pieces of shell that you...
Like, I'll just put in my inventory chunks of demon.
Is anyone
Demon chunks.
hurt? Are we alright? Did anybody get hit? We're good?
Did not did.
Everybody okay?
Perfectly fine.
No.
I'm okay.
We're good. I'm a little nervous about where the other one went.
Yeah, that's out there somewhere. It's probably watching us right now, ready to strike.
They come out of the mist, so nowhere's safe.
I guess we just continue. Maybe when we get to the bigger buildings, there'll be a safe place inside.
Hopefully.
As long as there's no mist.
I'm pretty sure the mist is everywhere here.
One way to find out.
Let's keep going. I keep an eye out for things in the mist.
Yeah, same here.
All the mist.
Yeah, same here.
All right. You continue, make your way forward, keeping a very close eye around you. I'll say you guys can all make perception checks to keep an eye out.
Can I also make a stealth check to, like, while I'm still near these guys, I want to be, like, ducking near rubble or anything similar to maybe hide my presence a bit?
Yeah, you make a stealth check.
So I will do that one, then that one.
Lil got a 9 on perception.
She's got a 13 on perception.
16.
9.
I got a 20 on my perception and a 23 on my stealth.
Nice. All right, so you sort of fade into the shadows a bit, trying to duck behind some pieces of rubble.
Actually, no, with the color of my fur, I just kind of fade into the mist.
Yeah. So you duck around the best you can and stay out of sight as you all continue making your way forward. As you reach further into the city, you do come across a section of it where the road comes up to what looks like it must have been a large sort of entryway in the middle of a wall, sort of surrounding this district of the city. This massive structure that moves off to the left and right farther than you can see. The wall has a lot of many pieces broken off of it. And this entryway is now devoid of any sort of door. It just sort of keeps going forward. As you push through this this entry further into this district of the city, you can see very faintly this large sort of grayish structure in the distance. Only grayed because of the mists surrounding it, but there is a large building out that looks to be mostly intact that you can see that you are currently approaching. Still probably about half a mile off or so.
I'm willing to bet some demon chunks that that's where we have to go.
Where did you see this thing watching us?
Have we gone past that, or?
Yeah, that was probably when you saw it. It was probably only about 60 or 70, probably like 70 or 80 feet off of where you were standing.
Okay.
So it wasn't too far away, but it moved in this direction.
It definitely came in this direction. It was back where it was close to where we were first looking for it, but for something though.
Well, it came this way, right?
That it did.
Well, seems the only place to go is there, unless anyone has a better idea. Then you have amazing ideas. Do you got anything?
No. I mean, we could go home. This place is terrible.
You know, we get attacked by demons once, and you want to go home.
No, we should keep going.
Sadell, are you still seeing the tracks, or have those diminished?
Am I still seeing them?
You've kept an eye out, and yeah, you have seen as you move forward markings of people moving through this area, continuing to go. The ground as you move forward is also it's less cracked, it's a little more solid than it was before, and you haven't noticed any more of those creatures you saw previously. However, as you make your way through this gateway, you hear, echoing from beyond some of the buildings, a voice shouting in your direction, a single voice. Says, "Turn around, leave. There's nothing for you here." It is speaking in Sado. You recognize it as Elven.
Who am I speaking to?
The voice responds, "It doesn't concern you. This isn't where you belong.
Well,
Hoping the creatures would scare you off. Seems that wasn't enough."
No, they actually did the exact opposite of scare us off. They made us even more curious.
Curious or not, if you set foot beyond here, we will have to kill you.
You know, it would be great if we could all understand you. Maybe just a little bit.
Says the man who talks
Yeah,
in another
if you-
language.
Could be so kind as to perhaps speak common if you could. My friends here don't really speak Elven.
The creature speaks back and says, "I'm not familiar with the common tongue, as you call it. However, it changes languages at this point, and this time speaking in Tabaxi, says, you should know better than the rest that your kind do not set foot beyond here. I know for not what purpose you came this way, but you'll find only death beyond these gates."
You know, I heard the Marked Ones had to come here, so I thought I'd check it out.
There's a pause. And the creature says, "What do you know of the Marked Ones?"
Well, there's some kind of dye involved on their fur that's permanent and grows with them. Sometimes they have to keep it hidden so they don't get taken away. Just tidbits.
And you claim to be one of them.
I do.
Lucius kind of like walks up to Star and like leans in, speaking common since Dude Face just said that he didn't. And he was just like, "Are you sure this is a good idea to tell him that?"
It'll hopefully get us in further and get us answers.
Unless he is the one, or it is the one that is doing it, and he's going to kill us all.
There's something about the marks they want. If it buys us time for an ambush instead of them ambushing us.
Alright, well, I'll let the others know to keep a close eye out on everything around us. Just keep it talking.
I'm sure you're back to Tabaxi. I'm sure you're watching us. I take the bandana off from around my arm.
Okay. So you take the bandana, revealing the marking on your arm of the crescent moon. The voice calls out, "We are, and I see it. So you're here to come willingly."
I suppose it depends what I'm willingly coming to do.
Your friends should leave. You can come with us now.
Unfortunately, my friends are a bit tight at the minute. They're kind of stuck with me.
They are not allowed to pass beyond the gates. You, however, have a purpose that you should have been brought to long ago. Come with us, and you'll find the answers you're seeking. And as he says this, you see a shape pull itself up onto one of the nearby sort of ruins, topping the roofs on the right side of the street. A hooded figure, wearing these like dark greenish earthen cloak. The figure looks down at you and says, "Come with us, brother, and you'll be safe."
I just say in common as quickly as I can. Give it 5 minutes. Come running in, come guns blazing.
I do not think that's a good idea.
5 whole minutes.
Sooner if you want. I need this, alright?
You sure?
I'm pretty adept at getting away from things. I'm sure I could give these fellows the run around.
I don't like you going in there alone.
Can your shadow go a distance away from you? I say, pointing to the puppet.
It's like, what, 60 feet away from me? Hold on, let me check.
I think it's 60 feet. I don't remember that.
Yeah, I'm looking it up just to... Yeah, or until it moves more than 60 feet away from me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, technically, yes, it can go for some time, but it will disappear after it reaches its sphere of influence. We lost.
Hold on, we will get things going here in a second.
That gives me time to look something up.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties. Do. Technical difficulties.
I think that was the best song. It reminded me of, what is it, Little Britain? The little guy who made up his own song, and that's all that he did, but he kept going into his agent. He was like, no, I can do a different part. And it was the same.
I can sing tune.
Yes!
There he is. I do want to switch it around.
I'm back.
Hi, Dylan. Go
Hi.
ahead.
Hi, welcome to Survivors Complex.
Hi.
Where people don't make terrible decisions.
Rachel, go ahead and switch your camera off and back on. I'm gonna try to move you.
Sorry, my internet decided to die.
And then, Alex, go ahead and switch yours off and back on. Alright, we're good.
Okay. Easy peasy.
Hey, it worked.
Yeah. So, so what's the plan?
The plan is one we don't like.
Stay very still for me, Star.
Stand still.
And he's going to... The Vapor Puppet is going to use its envelop feature.
Okay.
And see if... Yeah, see if that will, like, go with him for that 60 feet.
Yeah, no, it can do that. So, Star, the Vapor Puppet sort of approaches you, and it moves sort of over you, and you see this black smoke begin to writhe around you and sort of envelop your entire form, leaving just enough to be able to see. It's sort of the rest of you see this sort of black smoke wisping around him. Your vision is partially obstructed by it. You can still see around you, but it's sort of masking your presence and sort of providing you with a bit of kind of obscurity.
Okay. I won't be long, hopefully.
Wait. Don't go.
Okay, Sean, do I have it? Based on the temple we went into, do I have any sense of, are these fae? Are these feet? Like, do I have any guess, any shot in the dark?
As to whether the creatures you're speaking to are on another plane?
Yeah, basically, yeah. So I'm trying to narrow down. I want to cast protection from good and evil on him, but I have to pick something. So I'm trying to narrow it down based on what we've experienced so far.
I was actually going to ask a question about that spell because I also have it. My question is, do you have to pick? Because I don't think you do. I don't think that's right.
Oh, I thought it... You
Because it
had to pick
says-
one.
It says certain types
Against-
of creatures,
oh.
and then it just says creatures of those types, plural.
Protection from evil and good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have that spell too. I was actually about to ask the same question.
Go us.
Yeah.
Sounds one willing creature. Just protecting against certain types of creatures. Yeah, I don't think you have to specify which ones. I think it's just they're protecting against aberrations, celestials, elementals, fates, being undead.
So
Okay.
if we both cast it.
It would have no additional effect.
Okay. So I don't have lots of energy to express spells, but I'm happy to do it. Or are you feeling more energetic on spells?
I'll do it.
Okay, thank you.
I'll cast protection from good and evil on Star.
Okay.
Can I get like his nose or something? Like
Touch his
Yeah.
eyeball. Touch his eyeball.
He's still there. It's sort of hard to find his form, but you can reach out and touch him.
Boop.
So yeah, you reach
Zap.
zap him on the nose, and you feel another sort of sensation whelming around you as the holy energy that Den bestows upon you in the form of electricity protects you a bit further.
Does his fur stand on end?
A little bit, if you could see it. Star, you can see your fur standing on end. So, Star, you proceeding forward alone?
I'll see the rest of you soon. I proceed.
Okay. So, the two of you, or you, along with the creature, the vapor puppet enveloping you, begin to proceed forward. You watch as the person standing on the rooftop very deftly leaps down and scales down the building, landing on the street, and kind of moves to meet up with Star. The rest of you see her. Den, you notice this before anybody else. Another figure stand on the rooftop to your left, and kind of has a bow to the ready, but is just looking down, or seems to be looking down at all of you with its hood drawn.
Do you think they worship the demons? I whisper to whoever's next to me.
I mean, they probably do.
Don't like this.
No. It's probably... We're going in a few. That's just it.
So, Star, you approach and within a few feet of the person you've been speaking to, and still with their hood drawn, speaks from under the hood and says, "So you wish to come with us, then?"
I do.
All right. You'll need to leave your weapons here. I'm sorry, but we can't trust you.
Take off the weapons.
Okay. You place your weapons to the side, and
See, dagger, 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 dagger. Wait a second. Dagger, 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 dagger. Oh, a short sword. Dagger, dagger.
placing all 20 of your daggers on the ground on the short sword. The figure just kind of stands there, and you can hear a kind of a low chuckle as you place all of these weapons on the ground.
Where does he keep all of these?
Says, is that all of it?
Oh, and I just pull another dagger slot from like a hidden bit behind my.
All right, follow us. He begins to lead, walk ahead of you, leading further down the street.
I follow.
Okay. The rest of you watch as Star begins to move away from you, further and further into the mist. The figure standing next to you, kind of looking down in your direction. As you hit that 60-foot mark, you feel the shadows kind of fall away from you, and the vapor puppet sort of stays in place as it stands just at the edge of its radius, and Star walks off without it. Eventually, he vanishes from sight. Star, as you're walking, the figure's moving quietly ahead of you, and you can see that large building kind of looming up, and says, "I'm surprised. Not many come willingly." You're muted. He says.
Who cast silence on me? I'll be honest, it's mainly curiosity that's driven me this far.
Well, there's an old proverb about curiosity. I promise you'll be in no danger here. In fact, he stops for a moment and turns, lowers his hood, and you see not an elf standing before you, but fur, ears, a tabaxi, much like yourself, with sort of grayish brown fur, looks towards you. Older, probably 20 years older than you or so. Gives a slight smile and says, "You're among your own kind. I was brought here too."
Under what circumstances were you brought here?
I wasn't too happy about it when it happened. I was taken in the night. Around my 13th naming day. I never saw my family again. Was taken here, and then beyond the portal.
Portal?
The tear, the boundary. You'll see it soon enough.
I guess I wasn't found because I was always traveling a lot.
We were all mocked. Part of a pact that none of us took any part in. But resign yourself to your fate and understand your purpose here, and you'll find that life beyond the boundary is better than anything here. You have a purpose, same as all of us.
Well, I'd better find out what that purpose is.
Okay. He continues to lead you forward, closer and closer to the building, to the point where you begin to see it kind of creeping up through the fog as you approach. The rest of you, 5 minutes have now passed. No sign of Star.
Oh, Lucius is going in.
Yeah, let's go in.
You hear, as you begin to move forward, a call above as the person standing above you knocks an arrow and says, "I wouldn't do that. Stay there. You'll only find more trouble that way."
I keep going.
Yeah, he just keeps going.
Yep.
Okay. Who's going first?
Lucius called
Lucius.
it first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anything, at that he probably waves a hand and sends like a rending in that direction, just as a piss off.
Oh, you're attacking the person?
As soon as he hears that arrow knock, he's just gonna be like, piss off.
Okay. Go to make an attack roll.
It's probably a bad idea, and he's probably gonna die. But you know, he's a man of his word. 7.
Okay, you kind of fire off in that direction. It hits the wall and kind of scatters some stones off. The person kind of lets out a cry, immediately knocks an arrow and fires back 2 shots in your direction. Let's see. With your AC being a 3. Okay. Both are going to hit for a total of 20 points of piercing damage as both arrows sink into your back. And you find yourself staggering forward. The figure immediately begins to kind of strafe down the building in your direction, ready to loose another volley. I'm going to need the rest of you to go ahead and roll for initiative. I don't have a battle map here, so we're just going to kind of roll with it.
Cool.
So everybody just roll And
Wrong button.
Lil got a 10.
okay. I guess everyone except Star. And the figure, I'm just going to drop onto the map. Not actually there, but I'm just going to put her there. All right. So, not the same one again. All right. Lucius, what would you like to do?
Oh, let me move my. Okay. Yeah, he's kind of mad at this point. So let me check something. Cool. 30 feet. He's gotta. I think he's gonna move a little bit closer. Yeah, he does. He's gonna move a little bit closer. Yep. And then he is going to fire a witch bolt at the person that just shot him.
So wait, what were you saying about moving closer? You're gonna move.
Because witch bolt is a 30 feet radius, and he was like 40 feet away.
Okay. We're not using the map. The map
okay.
is not what we're using. I was just leaving it there so you guys can could roll initiative.
All right.
But she is about because you were moving away. You were probably about 60 feet away.
Okay.
So you're going to move your full movement back towards the wall and try to get her with the witch bolt?
Well, like, how far away am I from her now?
You're probably... Just move down it. You're probably somewhere between 50 and 60 feet away from her, from the wall she's standing on.
Nah, he's just gonna render then, just because... $19?
Okay, 19 will hit.
Yeah, 1 point of damage.
Okay, 1 point of damage.
Can the vapor puppet get up to her?
The vapor puppet was in front of you. So
okay, so it's really far away.
It can start moving in that direction, but with its full 30 feet of movement, it's not going to be able to get there yet.
Yeah, that's what it's going to do then.
Okay, so it's essentially like right next to you right now as you're kind of moving past each other.
Cool.
And are you all continuing to continue as a group moving down this passageway away from her, or are you guys all stopping to fight?
I'm going.
I'm gonna kind of split the difference. I'm slower than everybody else, but I'm also, because Lucius stopped and I saw him get hit, because I'm probably the slowest, I'm gonna kind of hold up so I'm within range to heal him.
Okay, so we're going to assume for the purposes of this that unless you guys are doing anything else, that you are all moving as a group forward, unless you use your movement to hang back, in which case you're going to be hanging back. Okay, so Den, is your turn.
Okay, yeah, I want to keep going. Pretty far away for a spell at this point. Can I check out my crossbow and just fire over my shoulder?
Yeah.
At her?
Yeah, you can.
It'll be good.
I'm gonna assume we had no idea what they said, right? Because most of us don't talk Elven, and
I usually assume you guys are translating, unless.
Got it.
So.
23.
23 hits.
6 piercing damage.
All right.
I just keep on going.
Okay. So you continue to rush forward as the archer goes rushing down this wall, following you and continuing to fire off arrows. She kind of pauses for a moment and seems to really take aim with this next one as she sees Lucius continuing to go and is trying to get you all to stop. So she's going to fire another attack on you using her archer's eye.
I am so dead.
That's a natural 20.
Oh, I'm so dead.
So that's going to double that. All right, so that's going to be another 20 points of damage from the first arrow. Still up?
Nope.
Okay. And as she takes aim with this one and fires in this direction, it hits Lucius, and you see Lucius topple over and go doof, falling straight onto the stone. She wheels around and fires another arrow towards towards you a little bit as you're kind of like clumping up towards him. She's trying to get in front. Yeah.
Because the mist, I'm not in direct sunlight, right?
You're not, no.
So AC 16.
Yeah. Second attack is going to hit you for 9 points of piercing damage. And she calls out, seeing Lucius having fallen, saying, "I don't wish to kill any more of you. Please stop." And that will end her turn. Lil.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and stop short, turn around, run to Lucius, and cast. I think I have Cure Wounds. Hold on. Yeah, it's Cure Wounds, and get him up and running. And that is 10 points of healing.
Okay.
And I holler back, "We don't go anywhere without our friends." Why did I not do that in voice? Anyway, "We don't go anywhere without our friends. We're getting our friend."
Lil just got really sultry in that moment.
Whoops. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Okay. You hear an audible sigh of frustration as you bring Lucius, or as you Lucius, you wake up. You can feel the pain in your back as you're lying face down on the ground and kind of get to pull yourself up. All right, that will bring it to Barb's turn.
All right. Let's see. Wait, why is this little yellow monster still next to?
Oh, we're not using the battle map. So right now, I guess just ignore that. Currently what you're seeing is you're kind of in the middle of the group as you were all rushing down the street trying to get away from this woman. Lucius has just gone down. She's still standing up on a roof or on a wall behind you guys, about at this point probably about 40 feet away from you, and then about 20 feet up.
Jeez. I don't think I have any throwing weapons.
You can attempt, if you want to actually try to get up to her, you can attempt to climb the wall to get to her.
All right, cool. Do I have to move over to her?
So it'll take it'll take your movement to, it'll take your dash, basically action and movement to try to get up to her. You won't be able to do anything else this turn if you're able to scale the wall, but you'll be set up for your next turn.
All right, cool. I guess I'll roll for athletics?
Yeah, athletics to see how ably you're able to. And are you raging yet, or are you gonna wait?
Yeah. Wait, would that be counted instead of my dash, or?
No, that's a bonus action, so you that won't take anything away from your movement. It's just whether you have advantage on the athletics check.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then 25.
25. Okay, so as you rush up towards the wall, just sprinting along the way, having just seen Lucius go down, you feel that anger rising up in you. You make it to the wall, meaning to climb your way up, just like Spider-Manning up the wall right now. You see Barb move much faster than you anticipated up the side of this wall. You just pull yourself to the top, and you can see this woman is standing probably about 10 feet away from you right now on this wall as you begin to pull yourself up, having a look of a fear on her face as she sees you approaching. All right. Sadel, it is your turn.
I put myself in between the archer and the rest of the group.
Okay. Taking any shots, or are you just placing yourself?
Nope.
There? Okay. As Sadel kind of positions himself there defensively a bit, Lucius, you come to face down in the stone.
Ow. Okay, that's it. She's getting it. Hopefully this works, but she's getting it. Stand up.
Okay, half your movement.
And she's still within like that 60 feet.
Yeah. She's still within your rending if you.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna try it because I mean, why not? He started it. 13.
13 will miss.
Okay.
So you lash out again. However, she dodges back to try to get away from the strike. You just hit the wall again, just between Barb and her.
Oh, hold on. I think that's a action though.
And your Vapor Pup is now like right next to you, so you can continue to move forward if you want.
Yeah, he's gonna do that.
Okay.
Yeah, because all my other spells are action based, so that's it.
Okay. I'll put it back to Den.
I put my crossbow away, I take the hammer back out, and I just go. I'm done with this. Done with her. I'm going after Star.
Okay, so you begin seeing your friends and Barb probably have it. You begin to rush off in the direction of Star. Okay. Action to dash, I assume. All right, that'll bring it to the archer. She looks frustrated. She sees Den, you sort of running off. She sees Barb approaching. She aims again straight towards you, Den, seeing you rushing away, favoring her duty over preserving her life. And it's going to fire another shot with her archer's eye at you. The first one is going to... Let's see. No, that's going to be... Oh, okay. So that'll be a 19. I think that hits you.
I have an 18.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to move up your token, my notes. So that one just barely hits you as she takes the aims in your direction. It hits for 10 points of piercing damage. And she goes and she's going to fire again in your direction, another quick volley of 2 arrows towards you. That one, however, is not going to hit you. As you turn around, you feel the arrows kind of sink in, just kind of grazing your shoulder blade, but sinking through the metal of your armor. You turn around and just deflect the second arrow just instinctually with your shield, seeing it clattering off into the stone, or to the stone beside you.
Give her the finger.
She sees you, she goes, shit, and begins to rush past where you are currently climbing up, Barb, down the wall, kind of chasing behind Den, actually kind of closer to where the group is. She's now probably about like 30 feet away from where you guys are, still rushing down the group, still rushing down the wall, seeing Den running off. That she doesn't have much movement. It's only 30 feet there. Lilibet, that is your turn now.
Okay. Well, so she's closer to me and Lucius.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So,
I'm trying to...
Here's the wall. This is where you guys are right now. She was down here, and as Den began to run, she came closer, and she's now rushing this way down the wall parallel to you, trying to get closer to Den, so Den doesn't get away.
Okay, is she within 25 feet of me that I could get to her to hit her?
No, she's 20 feet up right now on the wall. So you guys are on the ground. So you'd be able to make it basically to the wall. You wouldn't, if you wanted to dash, you could start to climb up.
Yeah, no, that Lil's not gonna do that. Well, shoot. Shoot.
I'm getting somebody breathing in their mic right now, by the way. I'm not sure who it is. Okay. So.
Well, there's not a whole lot poor Lil can do. She doesn't have any ranged. I'm at a loss. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. As she runs to get closer to us, I'm gonna hold my action if I can. Like, I move closer to her, but I'm gonna hold my action once I get closer to the wall to, as soon as, if she's in melee range, I want to take a hit.
Okay, so if she comes down off the wall. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I need to make a concentration check.
Yes, you do. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, make a concentration check. Okay, so the protection from evil and good is gone. All right, Barb. You are just pulling yourself on top of the wall right now. You can see the archer is about like 20 feet away, running away from you right now.
Okay. Can I catch up with her, or is her speed the same as mine?
No, you can catch up with her. You're moving pretty quick.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, and once I catch up with her, I'm going to like firmly plant my great loot into her butt.
Okay. So you rush up behind her with your great loot, raging along the way. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
My advantage or no?
If you're recklessly attacking, you are.
Okay, cool. 19.
19 will hit.
Cool. 19 slashing.
Damn. All right. Let's see. The axe or the loot embeds itself, kind of slashing across the back of her arm, and she lets out a cry of pain as she staggers forward, turns around towards you, and sees you just bearing down on her. Is looking pretty frightened now of you.
Can I also do my radiant too?
Yeah, if you're gonna do that, yeah, go for it.
Oh shit. Yeah. 6.
6. All right. Okay, so as you begin to combat her, Sadel, what are you doing?
I'm just watching. I'm staying in between me and her, or I'm staying in between her and the group, and I have my gun at the ready, but I'm not going to shoot.
Okay.
Because I feel like Barb's taking care of this one.
Okay. Lucius.
Yeah, I'm torn here. Because Barb has it, and he trusts Barb. And Den has left the group to go do her own thing, right?
Yeah, well, Den is heading straight towards where Star is, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to follow Den just for the sheer fact that she's alone, and he doesn't like that. Like, okay. Barb's got this.
Okay.
So he's going to rush after her, hopefully pulling the arrow from his back.
You rush out and, yeah, trying to yank it from your armor. You're getting kind of stuck in your armor right now, but you're trying to make your way forward as quickly as possible. Okay. Den still doing the same thing? All right. The archer's turn. She is going to look around. She sees you. She sees everyone rushing off. Sees Barb behind her. She is going to move away from you, Barb. So you do get attack of opportunity on her if you wish to take it.
Yes, please.
Okay. It is still as part of your reckless, so you can do it with advantage still.
Sweet. 22.
Oh my god.
Shit.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage on that.
Okay, so 34 points of damage.
Okay. 34 points of damage as it slams into the back first. She kind of falls forward, kind of almost falling off the wall, and just barely holding herself there. Turns around. You can see the blood trailing from her back at this point, and she is looking very, very rough suddenly. That is, she continues to move away from you though, still on her feet. She sees you and this mess behind her and realizes how bad off she is. So she curses once more under her breath. And instead of continuing to move towards the group, she is going to use her action to dash, and she leaps. Make an acrobatics check for this. Okay, good enough. She leaps over to a section of the rubble beyond, kind of skids down the side of it, and kind of disappears down an alleyway to the left. No longer within range of the group. You see her do this, Barb. So you can do what you wish. You can either follow after her or do whatever you want on your turn. However, I'll ask, is anybody else doing anything on their turn except for chasing or continue to move towards Star?
I can't, like, we can't see her anymore, right?
No, she dropped off the wall.
Yeah, so he's just going after Star.
Lil's waiting to see where Barb goes. If Barb comes with us, then Lil will run with the group. If Barb goes the other way, Lil's chasing after.
Okay. So Barb, what are you gonna do?
I'm chasing that bitch. What?
Okay. So you go. Let's see. She was only 6 feet away from you. Yeah. So I'm just gonna need you to make an acrobatics check to try to make the jump that she did.
Please, oh please, oh please, oh please. You said acrobatics, not athletics?
Yeah. Nope, acrobatics. This is a narrow ledge.
18?
18's good.
Okay.
You're actually able to leap across a little bit farther than she did, land on the side, skid down to the bottom. You can see her darting around the corner, and you go rushing after her. If you use your action to dash up to her, then you are right on her again, but you won't be able to attack this turn, but she'll be kind of stuck there with you.
Can I tackle her? Can I run after her and like tackle?
It would. Are you trying to restrain her?
Yeah.
Essentially. Okay. I'll say.
So I can curb stomp her.
I'll say I'll let you do that, but you'll have to drop your loot back when you reach the wall. So your loot will be back behind you. You'll be unarmed.
Can I just throw my loot with the fury of a mighty barbarian?
You can try. It's not going to be easy.
What would I roll for that?
I'd say you can make an attack roll. You'd be at disadvantage, and you'd have a penalty to your roll. So probably like a -3 to it.
Oh my god. Alright, decisions. Alright, I'm just gonna drop my loot and tackle her.
Okay, so you drop your loot to the side as you round the corner, getting that little bit of extra speed as you approach. Go ahead and just make me an athletics check, contested by her acrobatics.
And that is normal or advantage or what?
Well, you're raging still, so you'll have advantage.
Alright, cool. 20.
She rolls a 21. So you lunge forward, grab onto her, but she just slips from your grasp and continues rushing forward, just still bleeding along the way. The blood might have helped her a little bit get out of your grasp. However, you are currently still like right behind her. All right. So everyone else is currently rushing, so we're just going to deal with this thing with Barb and the archer right now, and then we'll get back to everyone else. Oh, Lilibet, so you're going to you want to use your action and try to climb the wall?
So, no, actually, I'm going to use my Grung-powered wine I'm going to take a huge swig and try to jump up the wall.
Okay. All right. So you drink some of the jumping wine that you've made, concentrate for a moment, and then you feel that power rushing through you of that pseudo jump spell, and you go to leap upwards. I'll say just go ahead and make me just an athletics check. I'll give you advantage on it for.
Okay. Here we go, guys. Let's
how easily you do this.
Believe you can fly.
Oh, it's a 14.
Okay, not great, but isn't like a detriment to you. You leap up to the top. You feel that kind of spring of power propel you to the top. You grab onto the ledge and begin to pull yourself up. You reach the top, and you can sort of hear Barb and the archer struggling out the distance.
Shoot, that was my action, wasn't it? So I can't dash, can I?
Yeah, that'll be your action there.
How far down are they?
They are, it's hard to tell. You can't see them right now, but you can hear them.
Okay. Well, then yeah, I'm just, whatever movement I have left, I'm trying to get to them.
Okay, I need you to make an acrobatics check to make the jump down to the street.
Okay, do I wait, oh, I'm sorry. I wrote down what the grung stuff was, so I didn't know. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, you've got the distance.
It lasts a minute. So
yeah.
Do I still have, like, the jump ability to get down?
This is more of a, it's a little bit of a fall, so it's whether you can land on your feet.
Okay, so you said it was athletics?
Acrobatics.
Acrobatics, sorry. Oh, God.
Do I know that she's coming?
14.
You can hear a bit of kind of yelling.
Ching, 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 ching.
Yeah. And in fact, you hear a loud crash as a heavily armored little bit hits the ground just about 30 feet away from you guys are at the end of the alley.
Grab my loot! Grab my loot!
And you are actually right next to her loot.
Yeah, I pick it up. That was totally my plan.
Okay. That'll put it back to the archer's turn. She is going to, seeing that you are currently unarmed, she is going to continue to run away from you. She does provoke an attack of opportunity, so you can make an unarmed strike against her if you want.
Okay.
So that's just going to be your... it would just be... it would be essentially the same thing as your loot, but you're going to do lower damage if you hit.
All right, so I'm just gonna do a.
And you can't use Great Weapon Master on it.
Do you want me to just do like regular Great Loot then?
Yeah, that'd probably be best. Yeah.
All right. 23.
I don't know if you can use Reckless Attack on this. Hold on.
That's a really good question.
I think you have to be wielding a weapon.
But I'm still raging though.
You are. So you get to do your rage damage if you hit. But I don't think... I'm not sure if you can... You know what? I'll say yeah. I'll say you can attack recklessly. Just because I don't want to take the time to look it up. So, what'd you roll?
23.
23 will hit. So it's going to be 1 plus your strength, plus your rage damage.
Yeah, all it says is when you make your first attack on your turn, you can decide to attack recklessly.
Yeah.
It's 1d4 though, right?
No. It's just a 1. You only get 1d4 if you're like a monk or if you take the brawler. So what's your strength?
I just press the regular skill strength and.
Oh no, I mean like your modifier, your strength modifier.
Oh, my strength modifier is 4.
4, and your rage damage is a +2.
Maybe yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so that's 7 points of damage total from just a solid punch. And as she moves away from you, you rush up or as she goes to move away from you, you punch her, kind of clocking her in the back of the head, and like a sack of potatoes, she goes doom, onto the ground, unconscious.
Yay!
All right. And as Lil kind of rushes up behind you with, you can hear the sound of your friends rushing off in the distance, we will go ahead and take our break here because we kind of pushed that a little bit later, and we will get to that. So let's take a little bit shorter break, unless anybody needs any extra time. Is everybody okay with just like 5 minutes just to grab some water and stuff? Because I know that Sarah has to leave, and I want to try to get through as much of this before she has to go. Okay. Be back in 5 minutes then. right, welcome back, everyone. So before we pick back up at this thrilling turn of events, I was informed there was a question in the chat about map making and what I use. I use in the Incarnate system for, or the website for my world maps, like you see the one of Braldar during our session sometimes. What I use for the battle maps is just what's publicly available on Roll20. I take the different textures and I just overlap them on top of each other. They got a lot of cool stuff to play with, and it's just about picking different tokens and textures and just putting them on top of each other.
Do you want me to show the world map?
Yeah, you can show that. But all the stuff on Roll20 is pretty much free. There are some premium stuff you can pay for, but there's a lot of good stuff on there too. But check it out.
You have to go to enter in Roll20.
Oh, yeah, sorry. That's my fault. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about with the world maps. I just use Incarnate for that. It's a free service. It's pretty easy. I'm not really good with digital art or anything, so it's about the nicest that I can make anything look. Lots of people out there that do cartography and make map stuff too, so if you're interested in that, go check them out. Lots of good people on Twitters. So, all right. So... bringing us back. Actually, I'll just leave it on that because we're done there. Put on some music. All right. So, as Barb and Lil, you both having incapacitated this archer, she is now unconscious on the ground, sort of bleeding out on the ground underneath you. What are the two of you going to do now? Are you going to rush to meet up with your friends, or are you going to finish her off? Huh?
Does she need to die?
No, she doesn't. She's just a hurdle. So take your great loot axe thing and let's go back. Let's go do what we did, or what we came here for, which is to get Star and figure out what the hell is going on.
Okay, cool.
I hand her the loot axe. And yeah,
do you want help jumping? Cause I have something for that.
Why, yes, I do.
I give her the bottle of wine. And
just take it a glass full of gulp, and then let's go.
I end up drinking way too much of it.
So you
extra happy.
You take a big swig of the jumping juice and go leaping off with Lil down the street towards the group, kind of scrambling up onto the walls and following after your friends who are all rushing down the street. You'll be able to catch up with them in a little bit, but they are significantly ahead of you at this point. The rest of you rushing towards where Star is. Star, as you are following your companion here, this Tabaxi who's escorting you, you finally reach this building that has been looming in the fog, and looks to be a large cathedral almost, or what once was a cathedral. It's broken, and the parapets of it are crushed and long fallen away. There are no open door, or there are no front doors to it. They're gone as well, just in this large opening. There are these vines that grow out the sides of the building and down the steps, and the fog is much thicker here as well. This almost seems to be like the origin point of it. The person escorting you says, "Oh, all right, up this way then," and begins to head up the steps.
I just keep following.
Okay. He leads you up through the entryway into the cathedral, and you enter this marble-floored, massive hall. There are the remnants of stone benches scattered around, and far ahead of you, where the central sort of altar, the place of worship would be, everything seems to have been cleared away, all the rubble pushed off to the sides. You see the vines kind of coalesce here and grow out of what looks to be a flickering tear in reality, almost in the air in front of you, probably about 100 feet off where you are right now. It glimmers and kind of shifts and writhes, giving off this amber greenish light. Not terribly bright, but looking at it directly is sort of disorienting.
So this is the tear?
The Tabaxi turns to you and says, this is the breach. This is where we are taken, and this is where you step over to the other side.
What's on the other side?
The elves call it the Twilight Realm. There are many lands beyond there, similar to our own. It's a wonderful place, really. It's wild, like our homeland, but with more to it, wondrous creatures, the likes of which you'll just have to see.
Can I insight check this guy?
Yeah, you certainly can.
Eight.
It's hard to read. He tells you, I'm not saying it's a glamorous life. We live to serve our masters. The elves watch over us, provide for us. It's a comfortable life, safer than anything here, and away from the calamity of any creatures that would deign to do you harm.
I hear a bit of crackling. Is anyone else getting that?
Yeah, I'm getting it a bit.
It's gone now.
Yeah, it stopped.
Who are these masters? Like, why do we even have to go through this anyway?
There was a pact made before you or I were ever even glimmers of thought. Our predecessors, long ago, the Council of Elders, made an agreement with them, our masters, that some would be marked, and those who were marked, when they reached a proper age, would be brought to here and sent beyond.
Okay. Thank you for your time. I've heard enough. I'm going. And I misty step back to the fucking door. Like the full 30 feet.
Okay. You misty you poof, disappear in a cloud of mist. The Tabaxi in front of you kind of gives a sigh. He draws the bow from his back and draws an arrow looking towards you and says, I really wish you had just made this easy. And he goes to fire in your direction. So I'm going to have, let's see, I'm going to have you go ahead and roll for initiative as well to see. You got the drop on him with the Misty Step, but at this point you guys are just going to straight on draw, see who can.
7.
Also roll a 7. What's your dexterity modifier?
I believe it's +4, yes.
Okay, his is also +4.
Roll again.
What's your speed?
30 feet.
It's also 30. So we're just gonna roll again.
23 that time.
Okay, so you get to go first.
Wonderful. Right, so I'm already 30 feet away from him.
You are basically if you came into the room essentially a little bit to see the portal, then you're essentially just beyond the doorway.
Awesome. So in total, I can move 90 feet around with my normal speed, my feline agility, and dashing.
Okay.
And I still get an attack with all of that, actually. But I don't actually have my daggers on me. Damn it. Spells. You know, I'm going to try to do a charm person on him.
Okay.
Just let me reread the spell myself. Yep, gonna try for the charm person first.
Okay. So what's the saving throw on that?
Unfortunately, it's a wisdom saving throw. Save DC is 12.
Okay. So you're moving. Are you moving back up to? Or no? Yeah, you Misty step 30 feet away.
I
Okay,
haven't
that's right.
moved yet, so I'm still only the 30 feet away.
Gotcha. Okay. So you. Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna say has advantage on it too, because I will consider this to be combat at this point. Okay.
Yeah.
So you cast a spell, sending kind of the sparkling of energy towards him. It hits his face, and he stares at you.
I still have my full 90 feet of movement because I can. I'm a rogue, so I can dash as a bonus action. So, yeah, 90 feet. I'm just bolting out of there.
Okay, so you're bolting down the steps back on the street?
Yep.
Okay, so you go rushing down the street. You can hear his footsteps coming behind you. He is 30 feet. You're at 90. All right, so he makes it to the doorway. You are currently 90 feet away from the door. He draws his arrow. You're still within range of his arrows. So he is going to fire in your direction. 2 shots. He is also going to use his archer's eye. Let's see. First one. All right, so the first one is going to hit with a 21 for 11 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And the second one is going to, I think, hit with a 17
Yep.
for 11 points of piercing damage.
Ouch.
All right. That's all he can do, though. You can see he fires off these shots, sees that you haven't fallen. He looks back and he calls out something behind him back into the chamber, but doesn't seems to stop at the doorway at that point.
Am I able to move into the areas where there's the rubble and I would like to dart towards the nearest building, pile of rubble, anywhere where there's shadow or darkness, and I can hide as a bonus action.
Okay, so you dart 30 feet off to the side to get out of sight, and go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
27.
27.
Fuck you, dude. Not
So
you, the elf. That's Batsy.
You go rushing off to the side, kind of feint over into a doorway, and then roll off behind a pile of rubble, out of sight of this tabaxi. And you wait. You hear the sound of footsteps come a little bit closer. You were still... Let's see, he's going to do a dash. Okay, so you hear your footsteps approaching down the street. Seems to have stopped in the middle of the walkway, just a little bit short of where you were before. And that's all that's happening right now.
Damn it, why didn't I take any more offensive cantrips?
I'm sure they're plenty offensive.
There are, I just don't have them. Okay. I'm just gonna try and stay hidden in the rubble, moving further down towards where my friends hopefully are.
Okay, so sort of a stalemate here as you begin to just creep out of kind of further into the alleyway to look for some side passages to move down. You can hear a bit of movement in the alleyway or in the road beyond as the elf seems to be moving there. You also hear a heavy accented voice, a deep voice, echo out into the street in Elven. You can't exactly understand what's being said, but you hear another voice speaking, unfamiliar to you.
Given that I've been trying to learn Elven, can I, just hearing it, can I make any kind of roll to try and get the exact intention or what this voice is trying to put over somehow?
Okay, I'll let you make an insight check to see if you can get the general, kind of pick out any sort of meaning behind those words.
It helps from actually looking at well, that's a 4, so no.
Yeah, so 4, you feel your heart pounding right now, the blood thumping in your veins. You're having a hard time focusing on that. You have no idea what's being said.
I'm actually just going to sit tight this round then.
Okay. You begin to also, so as you wait, you hear the voices speak for a moment and then kind of cut off, and then you hear some louder sounds proceeding down the street. Some familiar sort of cries and of your friends as they slowly or very quickly make their way your direction.
I'm gonna just sit tight and wait for them.
Okay. The rest of you, as you come rushing forward, you see the building looming before you, and as you reach within, probably you imagine, a few hundred feet of this larger building that Starsman was last heading towards, you can see a shape standing in the street as you approach, and as you get closer, you can see the shape is the same tabaxi figure or the same hooded figure you saw before. Now with the hood down, appears to be a tabaxi.
I start yelling.
Okay.
Where is he?
The figure immediately jumps and turns around and draws an arrow facing in your direction. However, you hear another voice kind of cry over the din.
Over the what?
That was a good pun.
You immediately fall. As Den face first trips over a rock and lands face first on the stone and pulls herself up. You can feel like kind of the scratches on your face from the rough earth.
Where did all these rocks fall on me from?
You hear a voice in Elven. Sato, you recognize the words and you can translate them for your friends. It says, "Halt! No more blood needs to be shed." The Elven, or the tabaxi, who's drawing the arrow facing it, aiming straight towards your group, loosens the bow and returns the arrow to its quiver.
I lower my gun.
I stand up.
You've translated this for us, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Just I asked because Barb and I are running from behind.
Yeah,
And
you
Barb
guys
is
were-
faster than I
Right.
am, but I just want to make sure that Lil hears it because Lil is just going.
The two of you, just panting and exhausted, finally catch up with your group. Star, you can kind of hear this conversation. If you peer around the corner, you can see your friends kind of gathered, and the tabaxi standing in the center of the street. You heard the voice. the are you doing anything? Are you staying where you are?
Actually, I'll stay where I am for now.
Okay. The voice calls out again and says, Dashriel, return to the sanctum. I'll speak with with our guests. The Tabaxi kind of cautiously begins to retreat back, not retweet. He pulls out his phone. Language, words today. Retreats back towards the building, and you can see another shape kind of moving down the steps and says, you may approach.
I approach.
Me too.
Okay.
Damn.
I follow behind. Whatever Sidel does, I do.
I thought we were besties. What happened to this?
To be fair, I've known Sidel longer, and I'm impressionable, so I go with who commands.
Mm-hmm.
Would
Oh,
you
we have
say-
a special.
Would you say you've known him all your life?
No,
Oh, it's good to know.
So you approach the building and you can see the entryway to this cathedral that I described previously, and you see standing there, as the cat opens the door to the room, you can see standing there a heavily armored, fully plate armored figure, kind of looming in the entryway. Doesn't stand at a terribly imposing height, probably around normal kind of human size, though wearing thick steel armor, heavily embroidered and very ornate in its look, heavily weighted gauntlets, a mantle of crimson red which hangs over his shoulders, a helm currently obstructing or obscuring most of his face, and he has a massive great sword that is kind of hanging from his hip, nearly the length of his entire body. He kind of rests his hands on the great sword, pulls off the helm, and you see an elven man standing before you, long pointed ears, black hair, looks to be probably middle-aged for an elf. He's sort of ageless as you look at him. It doesn't really seem old nor young. And he says, I heard the shouts of trouble. Why do you disturb our work here? You don't appear to be from these lands.
Sadel, tell the elf he's got one chance to explain what's going on here before I blast him back to wherever he came from.
And I'll help!
I repeat those words in Elvish.
Okay. He says, our work is not your concern here.
Well, it is until we get our friend back.
Your friend is not ours to return. He's not with us. He didn't pass through the portal.
I want to insight check him.
Me
Okay.
too.
Nine.
14.
Doesn't seem to be hiding anything from you.
Well then, where is he?
He looks back over his shoulder and calls out, Dashriel, where did the other one go? You hear a bit of muttering. The elven man looks back, says he ran off into the forest, or into the city. I know not where he is.
I turned to the others. Well, he did say, he'd get out of here if he needed to.
He also said to go in and find him after 5 minutes. It's been past 5 minutes.
But they're obviously talking about me now, so this is where I'll come out of the shadows.
Okay. So, Star, you emerge from your hiding place and come out from the alleyway. You all see Star.
Star, are you okay?
A little bit scratched, but nothing that a bit of rest won't fix.
All right.
Did any of you remember to pick up my daggers?
Yes, we have them
Did we
all right.
did we
here.
see
Did we
them?
see them?
I think you guys saw where he would have dropped them on the ground when he dropped them. I don't think anybody specified they wanted to pick them up, though. You're in a bit of a hurry running away from the person raining arrows down on you, so...
No, but we know where they are.
I'll get them later.
All right. Well, if you are perfectly fine, we will be leaving.
Will we?
Not yet. I found where I'm supposed to go. I just want all of the whys, and I figure this person here will be able to give me those answers.
The man sort of steps down the steps, or steps down a few more of the stairs a bit. Says, he kind of looking over you, Star. He says, "This one is in fact marked. It has been deigned that he belongs to us now."
You can't own somebody.
What do you hold in your hand? As he motions towards your weapon.
That's my rifle.
Did you create this machinery?
Yes.
Do you deign yourself the owner of it?
Yes.
It is the same for us.
Yeah, well, he's not just an item. He's not a weapon. He's a person. This gun doesn't have thoughts. It doesn't have feelings, but he does.
Thoughts or feelings, as you call them. It matters not to us. We created them as weapons, as instruments to our will. A pact has been made. He belongs to us.
Weapons to fight what?
Whatever threatens us.
Yeah, here's the thing. We don't really give two shits about what things are to you. As far as we know, you're just a bunch of assholes that are kidnapping kids and they're never being heard from again. Shooting arrows at us and taking our friend, so...
Were you told not to come here?
We were told people don't come here.
Whatever information the council of your people has been giving you, you should have heeded it.
They're not my people. Hell, I don't even listen to my people. That's why I'm here. The last time I saw someone like you treating children and other people as property, it did not go over so well with them in the long run, and I will not let you take my newest friend here. I don't care if I have to die to make sure it doesn't happen.
I do not wish to fight any of you either.
Then I'm taking him and going. After he has found out some of his answers.
He kind of wrings his hands a bit and seems to deflate a little bit in frustration and says, I cannot or I will not stop you by force if you leave now. But others will follow. Others will come to find him now knowing that he is marked. You cannot stop this. This is an agreement that, frankly, you have no business in interfering with.
But surely my people have the business here. You say you created us, but where have you been all these years hiding away in this, well, rather shivered little place? It really could do with some DIY work, but anyway, I digress. You say you created us so you're able to rule us or own us or control us? I don't really like the sound of it, and I think the council have a lot to answer for when I get back to Thousand Steps. If you talk, we may be able to come to some kind of arrangement where maybe someone else in the world is able to feed you information somehow.
I have no interest, nor do my people have any interest in the business or information of any creatures of the material world. We left such things behind us long ago. I remember the day that we left these lands and set off to the Twilight Realm. I have counted every day since a blessing. So, no, this does not interest me. Now, we have an arrangement with your council. One child, every village marked, sent to us. Once per generation. If you do not honor this agreement, there will be consequences. Not from me, this is not a threat. Those beyond my station have far more say in this than I. And there is nothing I can do if you do not come willing with me now.
I'll come if they can come.
No.
Oh, by the way, there's a magical portal in there. Anyone else want to check it out?
What kind of portal?
To this Twilight Realm place. Could be fun.
Could be fun. I mean, if we are going to tell the person who we need to tell what's going on, like, we need all the information. I can't believe that bastard was right. I'm never going to live this down, by the way.
I think I have a birthmark somewhere that lets me in. I promise.
He steps back towards the entrance, draws his great sword and kind of stabs it in the ground at his feet, rests his other hand on it, and kind of mostly blocking the entryway, a couple feet on the other side. But he says, if you wish to pass here, you may try to do so. I, Octoth Railgrin, Knight of the Celestial Spire and Protector of the Breach, will stop you. And if I fall, the battalion that remains on the other side of the breach will stand in my stead.
Lil steps up in front of everybody, slams her warhammer down, and says,
I am Lilibet Finebottle, and I am commanded by Lilifast to do the good of the world. And you will not get in our way of her power.
He remains motionless, standing there.
Star, listen. You're my friend and I'll go where you go, but I don't think this is worth dying over.
It's not. Then I'm sure he'll send someone to come talk to me eventually. Am I doing the quotes things right?
Yeah, that's good.
I never got the hang of that back in the Rondell. People kept laughing. So we're leaving. I have some things to collect on our way out. If you want to send anyone to come and have a chat, just do so. Then I turn around and leave.
He calls out as you begin to leave and just says, "Your decision matters not to me. We will see how the council decides." He takes his greatsword, sheathes it again, and turns around to move back towards the interior sanctum of the cathedral.
I'm still going.
Okay.
I've got 20 daggers to pick up. I haven't got time to stop.
All right. So you all head back towards the out of the city.
Lil's the last one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lil, as you leave, and you can kind of see as the shimmering kind of distortion beyond the elf calls out once again over his shoulder, and Saddle translates this to you can translate this for you too. But he says, "And Lulavoth's blessings be upon you too, child of the earth and stone." And heads back towards, and he walks through the portal.
What the heck is going on here?
I'm not sure. Come on, let's get out of here before they change their mind.
Star, you okay?
I'm fine. Just wondering if there'll be maybe a back way in or anything.
I think we
Think
need
about
to,
it after we get out.
We need to regroup with the prince, and this isn't over.
I want another chance to get to the Seeing Stones anyway.
Okay.
Before Star, do you know anything about this celestial spire that he talked about?
Do I know anything about the Celestial Spire that he talked about?
Nope.
Never heard of it.
Well, Thousand Steps probably has a library somewhere. We can check to see.
I find it weird that he gave us blessings on our way out.
Well, he gave you a blessing.
Yeah, but that's still weird.
Not everyone who follows a god's a good person, Lil.
Besides, if you believe in a god and he believes in a god, why not say the same thing? It might not be his deity, but blessings to you. He didn't want to fight. If he wanted to kill us, he could have tried, and he didn't.
I think tonight we should rest up just outside of the mists.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, the prince is coming back tonight.
We can't make it back. Well,
No,
can we make it?
he's been checking in with us every night, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then just waiting for us to
Oh
tell
yeah,
him.
that's right.
Do we want to go back? 'Cause it's been
We'll
a couple of days.
wait and see what happens when the prince contacts us. I'm curious about this blessing.
Okay. So, leaving the city, picking up your copious daggers on the way out.
There. Where does this one go?
You do see as you leave, a familiar figure kind of steps up onto the walls in the mist and calls out towards you, Star, and just says, "I hope you change your mind, brother."
I might one day, depending on how this all goes, depending if I get a straight answer from any of you.
He doesn't respond, but you see kind of another figure slowly emerge too, standing next to him, kind of hunched over. Looks to be a bit dazed, probably from the bludgeoning that she received. But the two of them remain their guardian posts up atop the walls as you exit the city of Crawling Mists. And that's where we'll go ahead and call our session here for today. Since Sarah's gonna have to leave, and I don't want to push it.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
It's okay.
What was his name? Like his full name title? Because I didn't get it written down.
He said Octoth,
Mhm.
Oktath, Relgrin, Relgrin.
Yep.
Oh, you want the rest of the title? Oh,
Yeah, like Protector of the Breach and blah, blah, blah.
He said Knight of the Celestial Spire and Protector of the Breach.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay. So that is where we will end our session for today, and we'll pick up again next week to see where this story goes off to next. Thanks everyone for tuning in and checking us out again today. Savannah, you want to do our little closing remarks?
Oh yeah, so we already talked about the maps, and our world map and everything. If you like those are cool. You can make your own with Incarnate. So check that out. That's what our world map is made with that I showed you earlier. If you like our overlays, Sarah, our wonderful friend and player, made those for us. So if you need overlays for your own stream, talk to her, contact her via Twitter. Her Twitter handle is above her face up there. Our character art as well, if you like that was made for us by our wonderful friend Julie. If you like her art and you want to know more about it and her and when she opens commissions, contact any of us or Survivors Complex or YouPickGaming, any of us on Twitter, and we can put you in contact with her. Let's see. All of our music, which you heard at the beginning of our session and during the break and all throughout our session, is from Incomptech, all royalty-free fun music that you can use for your own D&D sessions at home. Tomorrow is our follower one-shot with two of our wonderful YouPickGaming followers. So some of us are going to be playing in that. Sean's going to be DMing. That's going to be at 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern time. So please come back tomorrow and watch us play some horror-themed D&D. It's going to be a really fun time. We're all really excited about that. And make sure you follow us on Twitch and on Twitter at YouPickGaming, as well as subscribing to our YouTube channel where you can watch all of our videos again, our D&D videos and the other D&D stream, Valandor. You can watch our Paranoia game. You can also watch all of our fun video game streams that we are trying to do more and more of. And I think that's it.
Okay. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry we had to go a bit shorter today, but we'll be back next week, same time as always to pick it up, and we'll give more information as we go about the changing times as the weeks progress. But until we see you next time, good night, Internet.
Good night, Internet.